Hey guys, welcome to the iRacing Rallycross track guide. We're in a Beetle Lite at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's one of the most common combinations in iRacing Rallycross at rookie and D license. This track is quite difficult to get right, mostly because of those long technical dirt sweepers you'll encounter there. The biggest challenge of this track is actually the dirt evolution. What I mean by this is the track after few laps becomes much slippier than it was at the beginning. So if you jump into completely fresh practice session, you have much more grip on the dirt turns than you'll get after, for instance, 10 laps. This is why this entire guide has been recorded on already worn out track to represent more accurate race conditions. Okay, so first corner is crucial for good lap time. We start on the tarmac just before the transition into the dirt. We start turning in before we get onto the dirt, because when the track is worn out, you will have absolutely no front end grip. You need to rely on a car rotation. That is why we're turning in a bit early and also adding a bit of brake. Don't apply too much brake. This will either cause you to overslow or cause understeer and make you hit the barriers on the outside. If you're trying to do similar things but you're still struggling with understeer, you can apply a bit of handbrake. That might help in your situation, but if you do it correctly with the wheel flick, that should be just enough in order to rotate the car through the first corner. Start applying throttle just before the first apex and control it throughout, since the track will be already very slippy and too much throttle will cause you to slide off the optimal line and cost you so much time. After you pass the wall to your left, you want to slow down a bit by releasing the throttle slightly. Your point of aim is this wall with the curb. This is where you want to go. So we are heading for the ramp. Jump is fairly straightforward, just go full throttle, flat out. There's nothing really happening right there. You're trying to go as much to the left after landing. Then we have turn 3. Just lift off the throttle. You may use a bit of the brake, but it's not necessary. You can do this corner even with lifting only. And you don't even have to lift completely. You may stay at like 30% of throttle. If you do it correctly, this will just be enough. Control the throttle throughout. And be careful not to jump into full throttle too early. If you'll be too aggressive with the throttle, you'll most likely hit those blue curves on the outside, and that may result in the Volkswagen space program. Now, we are again jumping into the dirt section. You're trying now to go as much to the right as possible for the next left-hander. There will be a small jump before which we need to slow down the car a bit. Our braking point will be those blue tire barriers to our right. You start braking after passing the fourth, counting from the turn we are approaching. Jump onto the brake, not too much, because that will cause you to lock up the wheels, and that will obviously cause understeer. That will only lose you a bit of time. Control the wheel. There's this very heavy turn zone, as you may see from the wheel input right here. After passing this blue barrier, jump onto the throttle. If you kept enough speed, and this is very important, if you kept enough speed, you did not hit the brake too much, this should allow you to basically stick fully to the left. Jump into the throttle basically somewhere in the middle of the barrier, because this car doesn't have so much power. It should not send you completely to the outside. And Now there's a very problematic part. We have a tight hairpin on dirt. So the best strategy here is to start braking somewhere in the middle of this short straight. Just lift off, start turning right, and when your car starts to rotate by itself due to weight transfer, start applying a bit of the brake. Only then, if you hit the brake too early, this will just cause understeer, pointing your car into the wrong direction. We don't want that. Remember, turn in first, brake second. Control the throttle throughout the entire corner while trying to go as far to the right as possible. The ideal situation is where your right front wheel is on the curb just next to the wall. The exit, you're just jumping straight into full power. This car has a lot of traction and not so much power, so you shouldn't have really any serious wheel spin that will slow you down. We are exiting the dirt, entering the tarmac again. Just before the blue curb at the enter of the Joker lap, to the left, you just start doing a bit of the trail braking. Not too much. This car has a lot of grip. You don't need to slow down too much for this corner. You just control the throttle. You want to end up somewhere on the center of the track, and if you did that correctly, you'll be in the middle of the track, fifth gear, basically going completely flat out to our left-hander. And that's it. That was the lap of Charlotte in Volkswagen Beetle Lite.